Okay, so welcome to my mini series on how to create an AdWords campaign or account from scratch. So first thing first, this video is going to be about doing our keyword research and kind of getting all our keywords built out so that we've definitely got everything that's going to be relevant to our client covered off and built into ad groups. That'll be the next one in the series. So we're assuming that today my client is the Hive Gym Vancouver. So obviously it's a subject close to my heart, but also it's a nice little example. So let's assume the Hive have said to me they want to promote the climbing lessons at their gym and they want to use AdWords to do it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Hive's website. Whether or not I know the brand or I visit their website a lot, it doesn't really matter. I want to figure out what kind of keywords they have decided are relevant to them, and therefore that's going to help me build my keyword list. So I was just on the Hive, this is the Hive North Van page. You can see hiveclimb.com/Vancouver. Now there's not that much content on here. I can see it's talking about the intro to bouldering course, so maybe that's the thing that I'm trying to promote. But I'm not really I'm getting climbing courses here, bouldering courses. So let's say I'm definitely going to have climbing courses and bouldering courses, because I can see straight away those seem to be two kind of products that they're very much pushing on this first page. But I probably want to try and get some more information, see if there's some more content on the website that might give me some more ideas for keywords. So if I go to the About Us section, find we've just got About the Hive. And this seems like a good little place for getting some keywords. Bouldering gym here, start climbing, indoor climbing gym, all those sound good. So I'm going to add those to my list. Bouldering gym, start climbing, and indoor climbing gym. Oh, misspelling. What else might I be able to get from here? Climbing gym. Okay, I mean, it seems like they mainly talk about it in terms of bouldering gym or climbing gym, indoor climbing gym, whatever. So I think that's enough to be going on with for now. Obviously, assuming that I don't know anything about climbing or bouldering, I could literally have just ripped those keywords off of the website. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to AdWords, because AdWords can think of keywords by looking at big data as opposed to just me thinking of things out of thin air. So of course I'm going to click on this hand little wrench symbol, otherwise known as a spanner, and click on the keyword planner. And what we're going to do, we're going to find our new keywords, and we are searching for new keywords using a phrase, website, or category. Yes. And all I need to do is I can go to my 5 keywords that I had thought of. I'm just going to select them and copy them and go back to Keyword Planner, paste them in here. I'm just going to make sure I'm targeting Canada in English. And that's probably all I need to do in terms of seeing what Google is going to suggest I should use as some keywords. So it seems like the keywords that I built, these are the top ones. So all these ones are the ones that I put in. Bouldering gym is going to be the big one. The other ones, they're not 0, so that's something. But really, I could just kind of look at these on here, which isn't necessarily a bad idea. But I find it's usually easier if I just download them. Because if I download them, I can just kind of analyze them a bit quicker. I can do the whole, I can apply a filter and I can sort them, and it's just quicker and easier, really. So let's hope my computer opens this Excel file in a timely fashion. Okay, here we go. So you can see I've got my seed keywords at the top here, and I've got my actual keywords, actual kind of suggestions below that. So I don't really need to worry about these because those are the ones that I put in, so I can just delete those. And I probably just going to delete that column, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put ones. I'm going to have a column called want. I'm just going to put ones next to the keywords that I think are going to be good. So rock climbing, yeah, rock gym, sure. Rock climbing wall, maybe. Indoor climbing wall. Now, rock climbing maybe. I guess I have a bit of an advantage here in that I realise that rock climbing also happens outdoors. And I don't just want to rank for rock climbing near me because that might just be, people climbing on rocks outdoors. And in fact, going back to this, rock climbing is probably a bit too generic because that's just the thing. So let's not do that. Because I want to be focused on people that are looking for a gym or an indoor thing. It's gonna make a more effective use of my budget, which is always going to be good. Indoor rock climbing, that looks good. Climbing gym, indoor climbing, rock climbing training, maybe. Indoor rock climbing in me, indoor rock climbing wall, indoor rock wall looks good. Rock climbing gym, kids rock climbing wall. I mean, I think we could do a kids one. I'm not going to do it now because it's going to start getting a bit intense. Rock climbing courses. That could be good because that's what we're trying to push. Okay. Climbing wall near me. Sure. So that's pretty much just a really quick way of finding the keywords that I think are going to be relevant. So I'm just going to apply a filter. You can do this the same in Excel as you would in Google Sheets. And I'm just going to sort for all the things that I put ones next to. Excellent. And I'm just going to kind of steal these keywords, i.e. copy them, and put them into my Google Sheets over here. And this is going to kind of be the overall thing on my keyword list. So let's just sort these quickly. So I'm again going to filter, sort A to Z. Okay. So I can see I'm going to kind of use this to build a kind of quite a structured thing, hopefully. And I'm going to do this using the Keyword Multiplier. So I just need to go to Google and search for Keyword Multiplier. And I really like the second one down. I'm not saying that's the best. I'm sure that other ones do similar things, but I always use this one. So that's what I'm going to use. So as you know, with the Keyword Multiplier, we put kind of one type of keyword or kind of seeds of the keywords here, and then we can kind of add different kind of variants of them here, and then if we have even more variants, we can have them there. So what am I going to use? Well, I've got climbing, I've got bouldering, and I've also got rock climbing and indoor climbing. And I've got climbing wall. So let's see, bouldering, climbing, rock climbing, damn it, this is getting complicated, isn't it? Well, indoor climbing is definitely one of them. Maybe just rock climbing is actually a bit vague, but it's alright when it's got gym and stuff, when it's got wall. So, so I've got rock climbing, I've got indoor climbing, bouldering, climbing. Sure. That pretty much makes sense. And then, obviously, we're supposed to be trying to push the courses aspect, but it does also seem like there's not going to be that much search volume around the courses. So I think we're possibly going to have to add in some non-courses type keywords, just because otherwise we're not going to get enough search volume. And you know, maybe people are searching for rock climbing, but they want courses actually. So you know, we're definitely going to build them as keywords anyway. So courses. Let's say classes as well. It didn't show up in the keyword research, but let's just chuck it in anyway. And then we've got gym, and we've got wall. Gym and wall, okay. Oops. So these are pretty much going to work. So we've got bouldering course, indoor climbing course, indoor climbing gym, rock climbing wall, whatever. And then we've kind of got these near me ones as well. I'm not sure if we need to get into those just yet, to be honest. So let's try and keep it fairly simple at this point. And I guess we could also have indoor rock climbing. And maybe we can also have indoor bouldering. Okay, so I get the feeling this might end up being quite a lot of keywords. Hopefully it's not going to get too hectic. So I'm just going to paste all the ones from my kind of first column there. And I'm going to paste all the ones from the second column there. Multiply them all together. And okay, I mean, we've got quite a few keywords, but it's not too crazy. So I'm just going to copy those, and I'm going to just paste them straight over the top of everything else. And that's kind of got me all my things. So I'm pretty happy with those keywords. I think I just need to split these into ad groups now, really. So, I mean, first things first, I might actually split them into two campaigns, because some keywords are talking about bouldering, some talking about climbing. Like, I don't think it's totally necessary to split them into two campaigns, but I just think that it's going to make it more worthwhile, or more kind of easy to sort. So I'm going to use this one as generic bouldering. I think I've got some more bouldering ones further down here. Yeah. And everything else I'm going to call gen climbing. So this is literally just naming the campaigns. And I may as well bold that. So obviously once we've done the campaigns, it's the ad groups that are going to be important. So how are we going to name the ad groups? Maybe I should just make sure that I've got, you'll notice that I only had the filter applied to the first column, and when you have the filter applied to the first column, it means that when you sort stuff, that these other columns don't change. So that's super bad. So I'm just going to remove the filter and add the filter on again, and now you'll see that I've got the little drop down bits on each column, and that means that everything's going to move together, which is essential. So let's just sort this so that we've got the bottom ones together. Now, I think we've essentially got three kind of ad groups around bouldering. Do we need to change the ad groups for indoor bouldering? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it's all fairly similar. So I'm going to call these gen bouldering courses. And, you know, as it was when we were doing the Red Academy ones, I think the courses and classes are basically the same thing. So I'm going to call those that. And then I've got, this isn't courses, so this is going to be gen bouldering gym. And this is going to be gen bouldering wall. And then I can probably just copy those and put them down here because the order of the things, yep. And then I pretty much can do the same kind of structure roughly to the stuff below. In fact, if we're really lucky, it might even follow the same kind of pattern. So if I go like that, It's exactly the same. Courses, gym, wall. I just need to find and replace bouldering with climbing. So just going to go here, find and replace bouldering with climbing. Oh shit, this has become keywords and ad groups, hasn't it? Okay, so that's going to work. That's well, these are slightly different. So I've got bouldering and I've got indoor bouldering. They're kind of the same. I've got climbing. So this is just climbing, and this is rock climbing. This is okay. So these ones need to be rock climbing courses. Oops. Damn it. Okay. Let's just take these, find and replace climbing with rock climbing. Okay, and I'm going to do the same just here, because I've decided that indoor and outdoor doesn't really matter, but rock climbing versus climbing is kind of a bit different. Okay, so there I have it. I've got my keywords, got my campaigns, my ad groups, but of course we need to have our match type column. So as always, we always want to have our match types split out into different ad groups. So because I haven't got any pluses here, it's going to be quicker and easier if I just call these exact. Doesn't matter about the capitalization here, I just kind of always do it with capitals out of habit. Really doesn't matter. And neither do the column titles, doesn't matter about capitals there, but it does matter that that's not supposed to be a keyword and this isn't supposed to be ad groups, so that does matter. Okay, so these are my exact match ones, but what I really need to do is I really need to make sure the ad group is named correctly with the match type on the end of it, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick little formula. So I'm going to press equals, and I'm going to have the name of the ad group. I'm going to use the and symbol to kind of add something onto the end of it, and then I'm going to use the quotation symbol, which means I'm going to add a little bit of text on. So if I ever want to add just some random bits of writing onto the end of something else, I use the quote symbol. I'm going to say underscore exact and close the quotes, and that's basically, it's just taking this ad group name, but it's put exact on the end. And then hopefully I can just copy that formula down, and it's got all my exact match stuff. So I can just copy those, and I'm going to paste them into the ad group column. But as you remember with the formulas, if I just copied and pasted like normal, it's going to kind of mess up with the whole formula thing. So I'm going to paste it as values, which I do with the paste special, and that means it just pastes it like text. And now that I've done that, I can kind of delete that column because it was just a kind of working column. And I've got my exact match keywords. They look fine. But, you know, if I've got a bunch of exact match keywords, I'm also going to need the broad match keywords. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy all of this stuff. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and paste it underneath. And first things first, just going to make sure the match type column says broad. Sometimes it doesn't like copying down, in which case you've got to drag it. And because these are going to be broad match ones, I just need to change the name of the ad group. So I'm just going to find and replace those. So I'm going to change exact for broad. Ooh. And of course, because these are going to be broad match modified, excuse me, I'm going to need to put some pluses in. So I'm going to go to Google again, and I'm just going to search for BMM tool. And which one is the one I always use? Looks like I always use the Quizio one, so let's use that. Oh, no, I don't like that one. Let's use this one. Okay, perfect. This is the one that I like to use. So I'm going to select my keywords, which are over here. I'm just going to copy them. I'm going to paste them into my tool and click wrap. And lo and behold, we've got all the pluses. So I'm just going to use Command A to select all of them, Command C to copy, go back to my sheet, and I just want to paste them in here, don't I? Now, the issue here is that when I paste them, it thinks that I'm doing a formula, so let's put these equals in. And as you may remember, we did get around this in a really quick and easy way. I'm just going to do a find and replace, and we're going to have to do it within a formula because it thinks it's a formula. So I'm just going to replace an equals with a space, and press replace all, and we're good. So that gives me my broad match keywords with the pluses and my exact match ones without the pluses. And then obviously we've always got the column of final URL and the column of max CPC. So in terms of the final URL, I'm obviously just going to use the one from the Hive. I could use the courses one, but to be honest, it's a pretty dry page. And if someone's just searched for climbing gym and I just land them on this, I don't know, I don't really like it. So I am probably going to land them on the one that was a bit more like a kind of cover page. It's got this nice climber girl, people are going to like that. So I'm just going to copy this landing page, and that's going to be my final URL. So I can just copy that down, and then I just need to figure out my max CPC. So max CPC. What we need to do really is we need to go back to Adwords. We need to ask Adwords to forecast our kind of spend. So super easy for this. I'm just going to copy all the keywords. And I'm going to go into Adwords. And I'm going to use my little wrench tool again. I'm going to go Keyword Planner again. But this time, instead of searching with new keywords, I am going to plan my budget and get forecasts. So I'm just going to paste the keywords in there. Just make sure we're targeting Canada and get forecasts. Now these are daily forecasts and this is a daily budget. Again, just for the interest of this exercise, I'm going to assume that the Hive want to spend $1,000 a month. So that's going to be about $33 a day. I always just put a $1 in the first bit to see what happens. Okay, interesting. So we're not getting as much of a kind of defined peak as we sometimes do. The reason for this might be that I think no matter what kind of keyword bid we do, we're not going to spend a lot of budget. So it really seems that kind of around this point, we're going to get 21 clicks for $26. Around here, we're going to get 21.5 for $30. Doesn't seem totally worth it. So once it starts flattening out like this, it seems like a bit of a waste of time. I'm probably going to set it at about there. I mean, this bit seems very much like diminishing returns for me. I'm going to crank up my bids and I'm not really going to get any extra clicks. So this is saying set my max CVC at something like $2.66 and I'll actually pay $1.27. So that's not too expensive. So I'm always going to set my exact match ones at that high level. So just going to set those at 266. And my broad ones, I'm generally just going to do a bit less. So in this instance, I think $2 seems pretty reasonable. And in terms of forecasting, Google's kind of already done that for me because it's over here in my keyword planner. So it's saying that I'm going to end up paying $1.27. So I kind of got my average CPC is going to be $1.27. I know if my budget was $1,000, which I'm assuming, I'll put the budget $1,000 over here. Then how many clicks am I going to get? It's just going to be 1,000 divided by 27. Sorry, 1,000 divided by $1.27. Just going to get rid of all those decimal places. And let's assume that the client's told me their conversion rate on the website is on average 2%, or I found it in Google Analytics, whatever. Then I can really easily calculate the sales, because the sales is going to be my clicks multiplied by my conversion rate. So I'm just going to do clicks multiplied by conversion rate, and can get rid of those again. And because I don't think, well, how much is the value of a climbing course? I don't know. Let's see if we can find it. Intro to bouldering. Information and booking. See, so they've got a few different price ranges, so I don't know what the kind of booking value is going to be. Let's assume the client has told us that the average booking value is something like, well, we're looking at between 200 and 300 and something. Let's just assume it's $200. Then the revenue is going to be sales multiplied by the average order value. And because we've got our revenue and we've got our cost, we can really easily calculate the ROAS, because the ROAS is the revenue divided by the cost. And we can also calculate the cost per lead, which is cost per acquisition, CPA. Let's just get rid of some of these decimals. And to calculate our cost per acquisition, it's just going to be cost divided by sales. $64. So there we have it. That's kind of the end of how we're going to build our keywords and how we're going to do our forecasting, so that we can set our max CPC and also know roughly what we're kind of anticipating in terms of volume, and also in terms of kind of revenue, etc. So come back next video and we're going to talk about building ad copy.